Alright, I'm going to talk about another video. I'm going to do another video about Descartes. This is from Descartes' second meditation, and this is the wax argument. Now this is important because this is where he talks about not the senses, not the body, not anything is really important, but the intellect. He talks about the eye, something that senses things and imagines. Before he's talked about how we can doubt the senses, and how the senses are obviously not reliable. So he also says that we can't trust imagination either. And he also says, how do I grasp a body? And it's difficult time identifying what this I that thinks is. He has difficulty identifying this. What this I that thinks is. Also with the body. Also a big thing that is in Descartes' meditations is this dualism thing, this mind-body thing. This is, a lot of people say that Descartes crippled philosophy with his dualism. So he's trying to identify what this I, this ego is that is thinking. So then he poses the idea of honeycomb wax. He talks about how we can use our senses to perceive it. We could taste it. We could taste the sweetness of it, and we can taste the sweetness on it, as well as the lack of sweetness later. Or, we can sense it in various ways by seeing, also smelling too. Possibly smell that has no smell. So then he asks the question of this wax, of this wax. Do I know what this wax means, or do we know what this wax? Do we know the wax by senses or by other means? So he's asking, since I'm sensing this wax in a variety of ways, do I know the wax by means of my senses or by something else? So then he thinks about, what if we put this, now we're talking about hard, solid honeycomb wax, this wax, if we put this solid wax by the fire, and then it melts, is it first of all, is it the same wax? We have a piece of wax, we had this wax, we put it by the fire, and it melts into this, stuff. Just like if you have a candle, and then you light it, and then it melts over various time, and thus you have no candle. After however long, we just have melted wax everywhere. Is it the same wax? Is the same wax still there? Descartes says yes. That from the solid state to the liquid hot state, it's still the same wax. The same wax retains. And he says that knowing that the same wax is still there from the solid state to the liquid state, we don't know that the same wax retains through the senses, because we see the wax in the solid state, and yet we see the same. And yet we see the wax in the melted state. So he says that through these senses, that is not how we know that the same wax is there. That is not how. idea of how the wax stays there is known by the intellect, the mind. This is where the idea of innate ideas comes in. Pretty much, essentially, this sense perception is distorted and it's imperfect. When we see all these things, the sense perception is defected, distorted, not perfect. But the reason we know that the same wax retains between the solid state and the liquid hot state is because of intellect, or innate ideas. He also says that the mind is much better known than the body. We came to know this wax through the intellect and not senses. So I want to say a few things about this. I think he can be easily connected to idealists. Descartes is not thought of. He's not grouped in with the idealists of Berkeley, Kant, and the 19th century ones like Schopenhauer, Fichte, and the Neo-Kantians. But to say that the mind is much more important, the mind is much more well known than the body, and to say that the intellect is how we know that the same wax retains between the solid and the liquid state, and to say that we know that from intellect, I think is almost a version of idealism. Descartes, I wouldn't call him idealist, but because of all this doubt, all this doubting of these senses and all this doubting, and saying that we can only know things through intellect, we can know about this wax from the intellect. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, I want to know if you guys think that this is, a version of idealism. I think it very well is. All this doubt in the first meditation, as well as this doubt moving down towards what we can be certain in that I exist. I think, therefore I am. And then moving down to this wax stuff. We can only know that the same wax retains because of intellect, innate ideas. I would think that he's very much connected to the idealist thought. I don't see how we could separate him from that. How the mind is easily deceived, or not the mind, but the senses are easily deceived. That's very similar to idealist thought. And not trusting your senses and all this, so, yeah. Let me know your thoughts on this. I would like to liken him to idealists, but let me know your thoughts on this, especially with the wax thing, and let me know. I guess on the intellect thing. I guess I don't really believe in a whole lot of intellect. I don't really believe in innate ideas. I mean, innate ideas have been likened by some people in a way to Kant's a priori, but a priori is prior to experience, but the a priori is not ideas, and thought or knowledge that, it's just saying that, there are some pre-reflective states of mind that are a priori. So I don't really believe in any kind of innate ideas, but I think that it is possible for that to be pre-reflective consciousness. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. So I'll probably move on to the third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth meditations. So.